Welcome back to Deep in Bear Country, a Berenstain Bear cast. I'm your host, Phil Gonzalez, and this week we are watching episode 4 of the original 1985 Saturday morning TV show, The Berenstain Bears, as featured on Saturday morning TV. There's two familiar stories in this episode. We have the Berenstain Bears and the Neighborly Skunk, and we have the Berenstain Bears and the Missing Pumpkin. It's not a spooky episode or anything, but it is a mystery, I guess. And they're both based on pre-existing stories. Neighborly Skunk, which is based on a very small premium paperback that was released as it was like the was like Papa for President, that whole series, The Soccer Star, the ones I think you got at McDonald's or something, Chick-fil-A or someplace like that. I have covered it years ago. I think it was in the first year of this podcast existing, I covered the Neighborly Skunk. But then they based a TV episode off of it. And also, the Berenstain Bears and the Missing Pumpkin was based on a Bear Detectives book. One of the first Bear Detectives books, if I remember correctly, where brother and sister and Freddie would go around with their dog Snuff, and Papa would follow them and try to help them solve mysteries. Old school Berenstain Bears storytelling that we are going to take a look at and see how well it translated to the animated medium, the world of ink and paint, the colorful cells of live animation, as pioneered by such luminaries as Ub Iwerks and Walter Lands. So that's it. We're going to take a look. We'll get the first introduction, or I guess the original introduction on Saturday morning television of a very well beloved Berenstain Bears character. So hold on to your hoods, your hangnails, hold on to your humps, and we're gonna watch these episodes. So are you ready to join me on a magical adventure? I guess. Here we go. And play. This way to Bear Country. I didn't know we were a bear. This episode is this about some sort of family of bears? That's what it is. Why do we never see these terrifying generic bears? They never show up in the show. Although the character we're going to be seeing is about as close as we get to seeing a generic bear in this one. The new character is introduced. Just wait for it. This is also an episode that deals with the peccadillo that I have with animals representing different cultures. Is kind of kicked off with this story, so hang on. And the Neighborly Skunk. So this is a Stan and Jan original. Okay, Bear Country School. We haven't been here yet, so this is we're pulling things into the animated world. I don't know. Are we getting Grismeyer is the question. It's a familiar sight to those of us who have kids on soccer teams. Them not being able to block a ball.
Ooh, a porcupine.
Mr. Porcupine is just as much our neighbor as all the other forest creatures.
That voice.
But all those stickers make me nervous.
Not stickers, quills. Look at it this way. He'd be a good person to have.
Is this like a fan edit? I don't.
I guess so.
Her voice
You
is
can shoot those quills out
wild.
with little spears.
I'm going to.
Shooting their quills, indeed. Wherever did you hear
Gonna.
that?
Is that Buzzy? Is that Ruth Buzzy? Oh, I can't
Well, a
tell.
lot of things that everybody knows just aren't true. It's simply not true that porcupines shoot their quills. Just you remember, it takes all kinds of creatures to make a forest, and we must take folks as they come.
I guess
Just
so.
remember,
Ready to go home,
the
sister?
things you hear about other people aren't necessarily true.
It was fun. Bye, Teacher Jane. See you tomorrow.
Here he is.
Look at that straight arrow nerd walking his sister home? I wouldn't be caught dead walking my sister home.
But you don't have a sister.
Yeah!
Besides, you're just jealous because you got kicked off the soccer team for missing practice.
You watch your mouth.
Southern Bear.
What are you trying to do?
What you said. Watch my mouth.
I don't...
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
So we have Too Tall.
Making friends with the little
That's who this
creatures.
is.
Watch this. We're gonna have a little fun.
Who...
All we need is a few acorns.
I remember as a kid watching this show and that being my Too Tall for a while. Like, that's how I thought of Too Tall. He's literally taller. Like, unlike the other Too Tall. This kid is tall.
Hey, what the?
Hey, brother. Hey there, come on.
And I guess that's Scuzz, Smirk, and Vinny. But they just look like generic cubs.
All right, you guys. Don't waste your time on these creeps, brother. What are you doing, sister? I had him right where I wanted him.
Ha! Go tell it to the butterflies.
I'm gonna admit, he's a little more modern. He doesn't dress like
As big as you.
the Sandman.
There's a whole gang of them. Teacher Jane says it takes all kinds of creatures to make a forest. Maybe so.
Like
I could
bullies.
certainly do without that Too Tall. Well, he's one creature I wouldn't put on our good neighbors chart. Hey, speaking of neighbors.
All right.
The woodchucks. They're moving out.
The woodchucks
and
are
their
moving.
house is for sale.
You know, the woodchucks. Like Sylvanian families.
Sorry to be losing you, Mr. Chuck.
Appreciate that, Mrs. Bear, but you see, we got a very good buy on the lovely...
Sorry, Mrs. Bear, but you know there's no justice for woodchucks in this here bear country anymore. You know, our rights are slowly being eroded, and it just ain't safe for me to raise a family here.
Take care now, love.
There go the woodchucks.
I wonder who our new neighbors will be.
Ooh, who will they be?
Some beavers are looking at the empty burrow.
Beavers?
What about
The last time we
beavers?
dealt with them, I
Looking
made
for
some
neighbors that-
horrible assumptions about
Couldn't
them.
ask for better neighbors, son. Nice, quiet, hard-working folk. Excellent engineers. Expert dam builders. I'd have somebody to discuss engineering with. The fine points of stresses
But I
and
thought-
strains.
Gee, Papa, we didn't know you were an expert engineer. Did you, Mama?
That has having to do with
I knew
engineering.
about the stresses and strains, but I didn't know about the engineering.
He's
Look
overweight.
at those
It's the joke.
tails. I'll bet he's great at paddleball.
Well, he's got a
Bill,
Scuzz or a Smirk
Hi. Hi.
hat on, a hoopy cap.
nice neighborhood.
I suppose.
You just stop that nibbling. Explore your dinner. Well, Pa, what do you think?
Well, considering the name of this
Won't
episode.
do. Too far for water, and I hate a long commute.
Come, children, your Pa has spoke.
Bye.
They probably weren't hardworking anyway. The things that we say about other animals aren't true, are they? Here come a bunch of rabbits. I bet they don't have a lot of kids, because that's not a true stereotype.
Bunnies. Yeah, they'll be great neighbors. Fun to play with. Where's my jump rope? Hi.
Now, in the book about the beavers, Papa doesn't like the beavers, because their hardworkingness shows him up.
Much too small for a growing family. Yep. 7 young'uns, more on the way.
All right, group. Forward. Hop.
The mother is just exhausted.
Gee, it would have been nice to have bunnies for neighbors.
Fine family folk.
So far, the stereotypes
Population explosion.
are true.
Gee, I guess nobody will move into it now. Yeah, it's really a mess. Uh-oh.
You probably just fix the door
It's gonna be a
to the
real demo.
front or something. I guess it is just a hole in the ground. Oh my gosh. It's a good thing nobody moved into that house.
Well, I guess that does it for the old burrow.
It's a good thing nobody moved in.
Yeah.
Nobody ever will.
Yeah, but that family of rabbits would have been killed. That family of rabbits would be no more. It'd be a family of stains. So far, no Neighborly Skunk has shown up, so I don't know where we're going with this. What's that awful smell?
Somebody's hammering a sold sign on the empty burrow. And that somebody is a skunk.
A skunk for a neighbor?
Ugh, Blech.
Now, everybody calm down.
But Mama, what do we do?
What we will do is greet Mr.
Go.
Skunk as we would any other new neighbor. We'll take him a welcoming gift of food.
But my best honey, why not some broccoli? Or some of your lovely okra preserves?
Oprah
Introduce ourselves
preserves.
and help in any way we can.
You know that bees continuously make honey. In the last episode, we saw a giant secret storage chamber filled with exotic
Hello,
honeys.
Mr. Skunk.
Oh, well, hello there. You must be my new neighbors. Why, thank you. Honey is my favorite. I could use something sweet in my life about now. I bought this place as a kind of handy skunk special in the as-is condition. Well, I didn't figure on that storm.
Well, it's about the most as-is place I've ever seen.
Don't you worry. We'll have this place ship-shape in 2 shakes of a skunk's tail.
That's terribly offensive in my culture. Are we getting a song? A montage. We're getting a montage. Hey! We're getting a montage. That's really all I want. Strong as a bear.
My goodness, your papa is so strong. Of course, I have a pretty strong reputation myself.
Because you are literally a skunk.
Welcome.
Like,
You've
it's
been
not,
a tremendous help.
like, word of mouth. It's your biological functioning.
Thank you, neighbor.
You're welcome, neighbor. Anytime. Come on, sister. We better be getting off to school.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Bad
Uh-oh.
neighbor. Dead ahead. You'd better get out of our way. That's right. We're going to school and we're not going to be late.
Teachers' pets are allowed to be late. Teachers' pets are even allowed to come to school without any books.
Without any clothes.
You better give me that book bag.
Or what?
Or I'm going to make you.
I mean, you're leaving yourself wide open, Too Tall.
Yeah?
Like, right
Yeah,
there.
who
That's...
else?
You're pinning a target on your belly.
Is that so? Well, you insignificant bit of fluff? I think I'll just kick you into the next county.
You know what a skunk is.
Well, I guess I'll have to use my strength.
Man, I mean, what did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? I can't believe I threatened a skunk and it sprayed me like a skunk does, like a skunk will do when threatened.
Gee, that was terrific. Thank you for your
Not the
help,
smartest.
Mr. Skunk.
Not the smartest guy on
Think
the
nothing
planet.
of it. After all,
I do like a good Frank Welker voice, though.
Are for.
Good morning, Teacher Jane.
Good morning, sister.
Good morning, sister. I'm Teacher Jane.
A skunk?
A very good neighbor. It takes all kinds of creatures to make a forest, Miss Jane. And
Remember, not
besides,
everything you hear about
he's a
animals is
very
true,
good
except
person to have on your side
most of
this
the things.
trouble.
Also, be nice to your neighbors. They might be able to protect you at some point, I guess is the lesson. Ooh, and the missing pumpkin. Let's go, Snuff. Let's go, Bear Detectives. Let's see where this takes us. Maybe it'll be all religious like the religious Bear Detectives books. Who's Rowby Goren? I have to look that up. Ooh, the animation style's a little different.
Oh, the Bear Country News. A marvel of communication. Yes, freedom of the press in action. How fortunate I am indeed.
Oh no, another obscene angry letter from my father. Didn't get a chance to read that sign. Bear Country Acres something.
In the bushes again. That pesky paper bear.
The angriest bear in Beartown.
Papers. Well, looky here.
Hey, looky here. Better not be any guns in this pumpkin.
At the Bear Country Fair.
That's like a lot of pumpkin-centric episodes.
I show this to the missus. For the 10th year in a row, the top pumpkin honor was awarded to longtime resident Farmer Ben.
Farmer Ben.
No one had a chance against me. Oh, how I pampered that pumpkin. Fed it vitamins, dusted its leaves, massaged its...
We saw an episode about what happens when you let a pumpkin get too
I've
big.
been robbed. Help! A thief ripped off my prize pumpkin. It's been filched, stolen.
I feel like Brother is shown on the skateboard a lot more in the show than he usually is on. Maybe it just saves on like walking cycle animation. I don't know.
It's clearly a case for the bear detectives.
Here we go.
Fast, before the crook gets away. Right. Let's get our surefire detective kit. Come on, cousin Freddy.
There he is. Let's go. Come on.
We'll need Snuff too. Farmer Ben's been robbed.
Classic lineup.
Dump the bone, Snuff. We're chasing criminals.
Criminals.
The kit's in the garage. Stand clear. There it is.
Why? Why is it up there? Did you like toss it up Gavroche style?
The thief hasn't got a chance against us. That's for sure. What exactly was stolen from Farmer Ben? A pumpkin. A pumpkin? Terrific. We're investigating a vegetable.
It's an outrage. Snatched from under my
What are they
nose
used to
and
investigating?
Don't you worry, Farmer Ben. Your pumpkin crime is as good as solved.
It is?
Yes, the bear detectives are on the case.
The pumpkin crime? Detectives?
Chapter 1 says, the first rule is study the crime scene.
The crime scene?
You sure you can find my pumpkin?
No guarantees.
I don't know what this accent is that we're doing, Mr.
Inspector
Welker.
Barbecue Bear.
My pumpkin.
Yes, sir. I've examined crime scenes from here to Zanzibar. Experienced every sort of depravity known to bears.
Whoa.
Dastardly crime.
That's
to
official
feeding
canon, by the
silent
way, that Papa Bear has
atrocity.
experienced
Minor
every
misdemeanor.
kind of
Unless
depravity
you're
known to
abducted.
bear. The things that have been done to this torso alone are horrendous and terrifying. Why, I felt pain and pleasure beyond human imagining.
Then the thief must be wearing blue and green. What an awful combination.
Wait till Papa sees this. Where is Papa?
Zero in on the scent, you mighty bloodhound. Open those nostrils. That no-good pumpkin rustler is defenseless against your noble
These backgrounds, though, I just love the way they look so storybook.
Incredible. Dare I believe my eyes? Footprints.
All right, believe my eyes.
Incriminating footprints.
Cloven hooves.
Snuff, go get 'em while the trail is still hot.
I'm afraid we're in some sort of a young Goodman Brown situation.
Of a cow.
Come, Bossy. Sweet old Bossy.
Bossy, an alias, no doubt.
Careful, Papa. That branch looks weak.
A clever crook.
Not really sure.
Those cow prints
The episode seems a little unfocused.
Yes, sir. We're dealing with a master criminal. A criminal to rank with Professor Berenstain of Sherlock Grizzly fame.
Professor Berenstain? Sherlock Grizzly? Papa, this is Bear Country. We're on Farmer Ben's farm. We're looking for a pumpkin.
You're absolutely
Not barely old
right.
Berenglund. That's supposed to be
Yes,
Jolly
in
Old
the
England. I
grand scheme of
overplayed
life,
my hand with that
holy
one.
Pumpkins are of little consequence. Certainly not worth risking life and limb over. However, this is not just any pumpkin. My unerring instincts tell me there is something darkly sinister afoot, and I dare not rest a day, nay, not a minute, until I apprehend the dastardly evildoer. Mush!
This is pretty much me as a father, by the way.
Look at this.
So you know, in case you're wondering.
And orange peels.
Actual
This old
clues.
trail of garbage. What do you suppose it means?
It means a sloppy crook. Indeed, a trail of garbage is a sure sign of a sloppy crook. I thought so. No single thief could have stolen such a valuable pumpkin. It's a conspiracy. An entire gang is involved. Listen to them feast on their ill-gotten goods. They're clever, but now they've met their match.
Hang on. You're about to see a classic piece of physical comedy.
Oh no!
It was pigs.
That
It was
explains all the
pigs.
corn cobs and garbage. They're gobbling everything but pumpkin. Look,
But
Papa,
pumpkin.
we found a real clue. Pumpkin leaf.
Pumpkin leaf? Aha!
Snuff is the MVP of this episode, just for facial expressions alone.
That this seemingly insignificant shred of foliage is somehow connected with the case. It's almost
I just feel like
uncanny what I
Papa's
can
shtick
deduct from a mere
gets
pumpkin
old
leaf.
quickly.
For example, I can tell by the way it's torn that the crook is definitely left-handed with a French accent. Then again,
weird.
the crook could be right-handed with a Swedish accent.
I feel like this is racist somehow, but I can't figure out how.
The thief is nearby. Yes, I smell him.
What you smell is you.
Nevertheless, I can sense the thief is very...
You lost control of your bowels when you fell into the pig pen, Papa.
There he is.
Yeah, I do see someone.
Oh, this is like the end of The Witch.
Wow, Papa's found the pumpkin thief after all. Quick, empty out the detective kit. Give it to me. What are you gonna do with it? I don't want to see what's gonna happen next.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good joke. I suspect it's he who walks behind the rose.
All right, I got you. The game's up.
It's not a real person. It's not a real person. It's a straw man.
Now surrender.
I think it's making a political point.
Papa, go. He won't get away now. Yeah! Yay!
This is a lot.
I'm fighting with Farmer Ben Scarecrow. Scarecrow?
This is a lot
Are you
more.
sure?
If you watch this show carefully, you'll just and you compare it to other Saturday morning TV shows from the era, with the exception of like the more like Disney or the Muppet Babies. You can really appreciate the level of detail that went into each episode. This is not just a bunch of recycled animation like
He got in the
shown
way
over
of
and
a
over again. This isn't a
criminal
filmation.
But we fixed him up better than you.
Cartoon.
In fact, I'd say it was an improvement.
You ruined it.
Only we had another clue. How about this? The first prize blue ribbon.
We're getting close.
And look, pumpkin
We're getting close to
seeds.
the end.
Very close. Here, give me those handcuffs.
Here, Papa, but be careful.
I don't know if the kid should be. I don't. What else is in that kit of theirs?
I found the thief. A whole gang of thieves. I got you. You can't get away now. You're trapped.
This is the end of the Odyssey.
Papa,
Boy, can't be
Look at all these suitors.
nope, it's feathers.
No.
You have the right to remain silent.
But wait,
Papa, you
wouldn't Farmer Ben have known? Like that's where my chickens are,
But all that's left is the pumpkin shell.
and it's not that big.
A pumpkin smell.
What's going on?
Come and get 'em. Pumpkin pie.
It's your wife who can't dress herself properly, I guess, since she wore a hideous outfit, according to your clue finding.
Snatcher was Mrs. Ben.
Your favorite dessert, pumpkin pie. Did I surprise you?
You certainly did.
And how do you like my new outfit, dear? I just love these colors, blue and green.
Lovely, dear.
It's literally, she's literally wearing the same colors you are. I did have some pretty good pumpkin pie last night, though, so I'm not jealous, because I've been there, I've lived it.
Me for the pumpkin, you for the pies.
Looks like the case of the missing.
And they kept some of the
pumpkin
rhymes,
closed.
the original rhymes from the book.
Most deliciously.
Dog's gonna have the worst diarrhea later that night. I'll just let him eat a whole pumpkin pie. There's a lot of heavy cream in that. That's the end. That's the end of the episode. I'll just let it play out. Sorry for the dancing. Just there's 18 seconds left in the thing, and I do like to see the little like thing at the end, the little closing thing at the end. We all like the thing at the end, so here we go. Yes, Hanna-Barbera Australia production. World Vision. All right, let's go back. Doodly doodly doodly. We're back. And so we watched the Berenstain Bears and the Neighborly Skunk and the Berenstain Bears and the missing pumpkin. Ooh, was not scary. However, the Berenstain Bears and the Neighborly Skunk was an interesting, fascinating episode. As fascinating as the book was when I first covered it. What's amazing about the Neighborly Skunk is it begins the flawed attempt to compare races or cultures and different animals, using animals as a stand-in for different cultures and different races, so that we can play around with the concept of prejudicial thought, bigotry, assumptions we make about people, and so on. But as I've said many times, not just on this show, but in other places, I mean, mostly muttering to myself, that never works. It's never really works. Whether you're talking X-Men using the mutants as some sort of oppressed underclass, whether you're talking Zootopia, which uses predators versus prey as like the class division, with predators strangely becoming like the underclass, the discriminated against class. Whether you're talking about that Will Smith movie Bright, where like fantasy creatures existed in this world and they immediately became second class citizens, or whatever, orcs were discriminated against. No matter which one of those types of things, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where the Toons are the second class citizens, no matter what version of that you're discussing, it never really holds water. And that's because it's a fundamentally flawed comparison, because whether you're talking animals or mythical creatures, magical creatures, or mutants, they are the idea behind prejudice is that people are people. And deep down, we're all pretty much just flesh and blood. And we have our own histories and our own personalities. We have our own cultures. We have many differences. We have many similarities. But we all have emotions. We all bleed when cut, as the play told us. And so, like, at the end of the day, you should, as the great doctor himself said, you should judge people by their actions, not the color of their skin, but the content of their character. Like, people should judge people based on what they do, if you have to judge them at all. But the problem is the X-Men have superpowers. The X-Men are a existential threat on many different levels. Like, the X-Men are actually dangerous. Like, there is a danger with the guy who can blow you up with his eyes, or the guy who can read your mind, or the guy who can make all metal, or the person who can suck the life out of you simply by touching your skin. Like, that is a credible threat. And I believe they should be treated as people. They are people. They are humans. They deserve the benefit of the doubt. But it's not a one-to-one. It's not like an oppressed class in the sense that the things being said about them. Oh, and there's also an entire brotherhood of evil mutants trying to take over the world using those powers. So, or in Zootopia, the predators are considered dangerous. Like, they could snap at any moment. And as we learn in the movie, they could snap at any moment. There's simply some sort of genetic inhibitor keeping them from it, but all they have to do is eat the wrong berry and they'll go nuts and start killing people. Like, that's a problem. The Toons in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there are fundamental differences between them and people. I don't believe they should be considered a second class, like a lower class citizens, but they are functionally immortal beings with magical powers. Like, the Toons are functionally magical creatures with a skewed sense of morality and a skewed idea of safety to human. Like, they don't understand what could accidentally kill us. So the Toons are a potential threat. At least they don't fit in the same slot as human beings. They are another thing. They have their own beliefs, their own cultures. Physics work differently around them. They are a different thing. And so you can't sort of paint that one-to-one with oppressed human beings, because no matter who you're oppressing, no one has magical powers. No one is any more dangerous than anyone else, like at a biological level. We're all just people. So when it comes to the Berenstain Bears and the Neighborly Skunk, we immediately run into that problem, because Sister is learning a lesson at school about our neighbors and appreciating our neighbors, and there's a bunch of different animals on there. And she's like, I don't like porcupines. They can throw their quills at you. And Teacher Jane, speaking like a strange Bob's Burgers character, she's like, well, yes, sister. Like, it sounds like a dude playing the teacher, like on Bob's Burgers, but it's clearly a woman, but she's doing such a weird voice. I'm like, why this for Teacher Jane? Like, it's a weird choice. Teacher Jane's like, don't believe everything you hear about other people. Porcupines are our neighbors. They do not throw their quills at you. That's a myth. And so we're like, okay, so this is about don't believe everything you hear about people who are different from you, which is a good lesson. Judge people as you meet them. But then what happens is there's a burrow near the bear's treehouse, and there's new neighbors. Like, it's for sale. And first, a family of beavers looks in, and Papa's like, well, I'd love to have beavers move in next door. They're so relaxing with, like, their hard work. They're always busy. They're always doing stuff. They're great engineers, and I'd love to discuss engineering with them. And I'm like, well, first of all, when the beavers do move in a later book, Papa's like, I don't want the beavers moving in because they work too hard and they'll show me up. But in both situations, Papa's absolutely right. The beavers are good engineers, and they do work very hard. Like, that's not proven wrong. And then they don't end up moving in because they're too far away from a water source. So the rabbit family comes looking, and they have a ton of kids. And Sister's like, oh boy, if the rabbits move in, there'll be a lot of kids for me to play with. And I know that in the book, I believe Papa Bear is like, I don't want a bunch of rabbits moving in. They'll have too many kids. In this one, Sister's just excited about it. But no matter which side you're on, it's still true. The rabbits do have a lot of kids, and the father rabbit actually makes a comment about how, like, this burrow's too small, and we only have 7 kids, and we're planning on expanding soon. So if this wasn't about a family of bears, say, and there was a house for sale next door, and a bunch of, I don't know, Catholics started looking at it, and the parent in the family was like, well, I don't want Catholics moving in next door. They have a bunch of kids. And then a family of Catholics looking at it is like, well, we only have 7 kids, so we're going to expand. You would be justified in being like, I don't want to read this book to my kids. It's a little like about Catholics. But this book is like, no, because they are rabbits, and rabbits do multiply pretty quickly. So of course they would be like because they're not bears, because it's not a good lesson in prejudice, because you've prejudged these characters based on biological truths about rabbits. And so finally a skunk, the house sort of falls into disrepair. No one's buying it. A tree falls on it during a storm, and then it gets looked at by a skunk who says he's bought it cheap as a fixer-upper, but the tree falling on it has sort of put a damper on his plans, because he bought it as is, but that was before the tree fell on it. So the cubs are nervous about a skunk moving in because they're like, skunks smell, and Papa's like, P.U., skunks smell, and he puts like a clip on his nose. And Mama's like, he's still our neighbor, and we got to treat him with respect. And of course, once they learn he needs help with this tree and refixing his house, the whole neighborhood pitches in. The beavers who live at the local beaver dam, there's some rabbits who come and help out, and the bear family helps. Papa moves the tree by himself, and they all become good friends. Meanwhile, there's this subplot with Too Tall and his gang represented here. This is the first appearance of television Too Tall, a bear who looks nothing like Too Tall in the books. It is a wild character redesign. He is twice as tall as the other cubs. He wears a t-shirt that shows off his giant belly, and he wears a baseball cap. Like, he wears a yellow top that with his belly hanging out, like a pair of pants, and then a baseball cap. And then Scuzz, Smirk, and Vinny, who aren't named, are just 3 generic cubs. They look exactly the same. They wear different outfits, but they look exactly the same. One of them is Southern, which is really weird. He's like, oh, Too Tall. There's some pretty good gags. The script is written by Stan and Jan Berenstain, pretty good gags, but Too Tall's been picking on brother and sister before school. In just great bullying fashion, good old 80s bullying. And then at the end, they get picked on. They helped out Mr. Skunk, so Mr. Skunk shows up and sprays Too Tall and his friends. He's like, I have a strong disposition. And he's like, here comes my strength. And he squirts them with his juice. But that's the thing. So sorry about the whole juice comment. So that's the thing, though, is Papa and the Cubs were like, skunks smell bad. And yeah, they can, because they are skunks. Like, skunks have the ability to smell terrible as a defense mechanism. And I think I said this when we covered the book in year 1 in 2015. The lesson also sort of seems to be you should be nice to your neighbors because they might be able to help you out one day, which is kind of true, but also you should just be nice to your neighbors, like whether or not they can help you out. But that was Neighborly Skunk. Frank Welker does the voice of the skunk. It's very Frank-Welkery. Sort of a high-pitched Frank-Welkery voice, but it's still clearly Frank Welker. But we get introduced to Teacher Jane. We get introduced to Too Tall and his gang. We get introduced to the skunk. It's just it's a solid app. And then it's followed up by the Berenstain Bears and the Missing Pumpkin, which is based on the Berenstain Bear detectives and the case of the missing pumpkin. And it pretty much follows the book. Farmer Ben has a prize-winning pumpkin. We get a little more backstory on it. There's like an article in the paper about this giant pumpkin. He's very proud of the article. He wants to show Mrs. Ben, but his pumpkin is missing. The bear detective's over here. So brother and sister call on Cousin Fred. It's his first appearance in the show. Cousin Fred shows up. So does Snuff, his first appearance on the show. And they haul out their bear detective gear, which is on top of a giant, like a story and a half tall pile of trash in the barn. I don't know why it's up there or how they even got it up there, but they climb up to the top of the trash. They take their gear down and they go solve a mystery. And it does follow the book pretty much beat for beat. Papa overhears that they're going to try to find this missing pumpkin. He thinks he's the expert and he leads them into shenanigans with a bull that chases him through a field, with this, that, and the other thing. He ends up crashing into he falls into the pig slop. He thinks there's a lot of like thieves in the barn, but it's actually the chickens, and he ends up in a mess there. And if you remember the book, it's Mrs. Ben, who we also meet in the episode. Mrs. Ben actually took the pumpkin and made it into pies. And at the very end, they all sit around at the table and eat pies, including the dog Snuff, who's the MVP of the episode because he makes great faces. He's just sort of there. He doesn't have any lines. He's the non-sentient animal. But they do feed the dog an entire pumpkin pie, which cannot be good for like that much. Pumpkin pie has a lot of dairy in it, and that much dairy in a dog is probably not going to be fun to be around later that evening. So just think about that. Don't feed your dogs that much pumpkin pie. But as I said when I was watching the episode, I had a pretty good pumpkin pie this week. It was a pretty good piece of pumpkin pie. And so I was watching this and I was like, normally I would be jealous. I'd be like, I'm hungry for pumpkin pie. But I wasn't, because I had good pumpkin pie this week. Just in case you were sitting at home this week or another and wondering if I had good pumpkin pie. That's the answer. I have had good pumpkin pie this week. And then the episode ends. Two solid Fs. It's very close. The second one, the pumpkin one, was very close to the book. It did not have... The book is in rhyme, and it did not have the rhymes, but it did have a few of the rhymes just tossed in here and there, and I appreciated that because the episode was written by Rowby, Rowby Goren. Rowby, which I didn't even know was a name. Rowby Goren. Rowby Goren was a comedy writer. He was part of a team for Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. So here we have a connection between Laugh-In and the Berenstain Bears beyond the casting of Ruth Buzzy. Ruth Buzzy plays Mama, was a Laugh-In regular. But Rowby Goren, American writer, he worked on Laugh-In. He worked on animated series. He worked on Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. He wrote for He-Man, Berenstain Bears, Tiny Toons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I assume the Wolf Productions. The Busy World of Richard Scarry, which makes sense. Paddington, Super Mario Brothers Super Show, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and various Sid and Marty Krofft projects. So this is a man, he's still alive, by the way. you look at his list and you're like, wow, just everything. If you ever found an episode funny, every one of these shows, like legitimately funny, like with some good there were some good visual gags in this episode. Rowby Goren may have had a hand in that. I just think it's interesting that like these people, he starts off as a comedy writer for very adult comedy, and then he writes for Hollywood Squares, Tony Orlando, and Dawn, and then he gets hired on for the Crofts Superstar Hour. And that seems to be his into kid stuff, because even though he does write for Three's Company a couple of times, we've got the Super Globetrotters, we've got the Little Rascals cartoon, Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. But, like in the middle of all that, there's like an episode of Heart to Heart. I'm just like, yeah, okay, he's a comedy writer. How old is Rowby Goren? What a great name. Like I was a little taken aback when I saw it, but now I'm a Rowby fan. World famous comedy writer Rowby Goren at rowby.com, I guess, is his official website. Wow, look at this guy. I don't know. I guess he's still working. Yeah. Go to Rowby, ROWBY.com. It says on September 28th there was an update. They're setting up a mailing list for his new comedy series. So check it out. He wrote a very good episode of the Berenstain Bears. Thank you, Rowby. And hey, Rowby, if you're listening, which I assume you are, and you want to guest on my podcast, just hit me up. Just hit me up at BerenstainBearcast.org and let me know. Let's see how many episodes of this show he wrote. 13. He's a writer on 13 episodes. This was his first one, so which is listed on IMDb as episode 10. So who knows? But we got some interesting. Ooh, it looks like there's some. It looks like he specialized in mystery episodes. So I'd be curious to ask him how that all came about, and was it the Ruth Buzzy connection? So yeah, Rowby.com. Rowby Goren. I've learned something new every day. That's why I love this show. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for putting up with my insanity. Thank you very much for putting up with everything that I demand of you. You just watch, listen, keep doing it. I've been doing this for so long now. I'm not even trying to build an audience anymore. They come to me. So keep on keeping on, and I will see you all next time deep in Bear Country.